So today we have Bob and Gary, the two rock stars of MLM industry, who has built two amazing business, Dassel's and Save Club. And today we are going to learn a lot from them. So a big round of applause for you, Bob and Gary.
Thank you. Thank you, Chidar.
Thank you
And
very
so,
much.
Chidar, is it true that we're actually streaming live from Dubai?
Yes, that's true. I live in Dubai. It's 11 p.m. here. So yes, we are streaming live from Dubai, guys.
Well, you have a beautiful home behind you that we can see.
Yes, it is. My wife is an interior designer, so she has done a
Oh, I can see that. I can see that. Well, great. Well, great. We wanna welcome everybody here, and for Chidar also to know that this is the first time that Gary and I have ever actually been interviewed. Is that right, Gary?
Yes, as far as this industry goes.
Yes. Yeah. We've been interviewed before, but this is the big one now. This is the first of more and many.
Yeah.
Well, we're ready, Chidar.
Welcome to the MLM Scores podcast, guys.
There's my wife on her phone.
Okay, I can see that. Hi.
So
Thanks
this is
to everyone
Scores.
for coming to our podcast. So I will start.
And we'll give you we'll give you a shot at plugging the podcast. So it's MLM Scores. How do you get to that?
Yeah. So I will send you message.
Yeah, put it in the chat, please, Chidar.
Yeah,
I will.
put in the chat right now.
Yeah, there's going to be some gold nuggets, as Amy would say. The juice is coming.
Yeah, that's our website, mlmscots.com.
Now, Chidar, one question before we get started. I've been following you guys for a little bit because we've been talking about doing this for a while now. So what is your reach right now?
So right now, our website gets around 10,000 visitors a day. And
10,000 a day. That's
Yes,
pretty good.
on our website, on the homepage of our website, and we have over 470,000 subscribers.
That's excellent.
Newsletter
Excellent.
subscribers. So we regularly update them with our latest podcasts and some good opportunities.
Right. Right. And you guys, I was looking at your website the other day, and it's very professional, the way it's laid out, and segregated. And so we're very, very blessed to be with you. Before we get started, I want to let everybody know, first and foremost, I want to thank God for being here. And as you see, Jesus is my boss and will always be. And my second boss is in the panel up there. My wife, my daughter, and my son is here, and a lot of our leadership around the world. Gary, you got any opening comments?
Or how do I come in after that? This industry has its greatness and it has its weaknesses. And so the focus that Bob and I've had in this journey for the last 10 months is to turn it around and simplify it and make it actually work for average people. And when I say average people, we're talking about people that hadn't even made $500 a month in this industry, but hadn't given up. But they'd had their heart broke over and over and over trying to make it work. And so when we started this path that we've chosen, we made an obligation to help other people and not just ourselves. And that's what you're going to hear about today.
That sounds good.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I couldn't have said it any better than that, because Chadard, the fact of the matter is, this industry for the last 50 years has been relegated to promoting the only 3%. Okay. And what is 3%? Well, 3% includes the owners of companies. God bless them, but because without them, obviously we have no opportunity, right? But at the same time, as we know that owners of the companies are the ones that are most deserving, obviously, because they have the most to lose and to gain but they've only been catering to the top 1%, meaning that the big boys and girls. Now don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
There are many ways to build a business. And for the last 50 plus years, the main way to build a business was to decide that you were capable of what we call sponsoring the world.
Mm-hmm.
But that is not duplicatable.
That's right.
And the fact that sponsoring the world is great for you, or great for those of you like Gary and I that could do that we do not do that, only means that you possibly do not care about all the people under you as much as you care about yourself. Now, again, I do not disparage any individual, because I've worked with a lot of great people in this industry over the last 50 years, 40 years, 30 years, that are very well accomplished and deserving of where they are. Correct, Gary? What do you think about that statement?
Well, here's the thing. What's the baseline of this industry? It's a people business, right?
That's right. So
And
how did you both become friends and eventually decided to become a partner? Seems like you both know each other for a very long time. Tell me your story of your friendship.
Bob and I met, I'm going to say it's heading for about 18 years ago.
Wow.
And the irony is we've actually worked in the same industry, but we never worked together.
That's correct.
Okay. And I actually had retired on it. I had done this for going on almost 10 years, maybe. I had gotten away from it because my focus was on other businesses that I own.
Mm-hmm.
So I got away from it from a time aspect of it. And when I came across an opportunity, somebody promoted to me, it was different in the way it was set up, but I saw it as a vehicle to help those that really struggled to make money in the industry.
Mm-hmm.
So the second person I shared it with was Bob. The first person turned me down.
Sounds good.
So Bob was my first person. And at the time, and you're going to have good amount of laughter with this. When we started, we had no website.
Oh, okay.
We had no URL. Nobody could join.
Mm-hmm.
We had a single video,
Mm.
and we used a spreadsheet to invite people and get a commitment from them. So when they did open, we could do something with it.
Everything you guys done manually, yeah? Without
Everything was manual.
wow.
And so one of the big reasons why I decided to partner with Gary was because I've known Gary not just the 17 or 18 years, and Gary's right. We had actually not started working together on any one particular project for a very long time, though we have worked together in the past on other projects where we've been pretty successful. Gary's a pretty humble guy. What Gary's not sharing with you is that before he retired from the network marketing industry, he had built a team of 30,000 people in one of the projects that he was working with back in the day. And the fact is that Gary owns 2 brick and mortar businesses. I used to own a internet property for a number of years on the internet, and my background is actually 40 years in corporate America, running brick and mortar companies that employ hundreds and thousands of people, and Gary as well. So one of the things that we brought together was those industries, okay? Because one of the fallacies that you have to understand in the industry of network marketing is nobody's teaching you how to run a business.
That's right.
There's a huge difference between learning how to market your business, and because marketing is just part of running a business. Is that correct, Gary?
Well, it even goes deeper from this aspect. The basic principle in our industry is what? We sell something.
I agree.
We have to we do that, but actually we're consuming products or services.
True.
And the fallacy is teaching somebody to sell instead of teaching them to consume and share the experience and then share the message, right, Gary?
Yes, but my thought process with it is we all come from most of us come from a foundation of having never sold anything.
Mhm.
So we find ourselves directionless from the beginning and have to learn from scratch how to actually do that.
You guys are made for each other. Thought.
So I know you got more questions but before you get into them, one of the things I want to share with everybody is this is being recorded, obviously. And after we go through and edit, then there will be a YouTube version of this that we will be sharing. But more importantly, we have an agreement with Gerard and his company. They have given us the opportunity to collect information, meaning that you will have the opportunity to go from this podcast, the ability to fill out a small form and ask us for more information about who we are, what we're doing, what we're working on, and how, more importantly, how Gary and I can help you. Because you got to understand one thing about Gary and I. This is not about us. This is about you. This is about us and our ability to solve problems and teach you how to do the same thing. So you're going to want to take part of that. Okay. And it's going to be some information, but I'm going to share something with you. Gary didn't even know I was going to do this, and neither did Gerard. So if you stay to the very end, Gary might give away something special, by the way. But if you stay to the very end and you give us a correct phone number that we can reach you by, because we teach belly to belly marketing. But if you give us a correct phone number that we can reach you by, Gary and I are going to give each one of those individuals a private 30-minute consultation, and it will have nothing to do with our businesses and everything to do with you, your problems, your challenges, and your businesses. Back to you, Gerard.
Yeah. Thank you, Bob and Gary. Yeah. So please stay with us at the end, and there will be some good rewards from Bob and Gary. So there are thousands of MLM opportunity around the globe. So why did you guys decide to join Save Club? What's so special about this opportunity?
Well, Gary, I'll let you take that one because I know we're going to talk about DesAlps too. But Gary, you go ahead and take Save Club because it is a little bit different of a cat, but it is still. Now, Gary's going to tell you all something very important.
Okay.
One of our policies
Yeah.
and a philosophy is when we look at a project, would we actually consume that project? So would we use the membership in this particular case without the fact that it has an income stream attached to it? Gary, I'll throw that over to you.
Well, and Bob's dead on with why we chose Save Club. We looked at it and said, well, would we buy this if there was no money to be made?
Mm-hmm.
And the answer was yes. And the reason it was is because it's structured to save you at least $100 a month on the same things you're already going to buy every month, every week, and every year. The same consumable items, whether it's a local restaurant, if your washer breaks down, you go to Home Depot and save a couple $100. If you need a set of tires for your car, you save $60, $70.
Mm-hmm.
And so on. So you're buying the same exact things without changing a habit. So most companies do what? If it's a product company, they're wanting you to change your habit to their product, correct? A consumable product or a service that's a renewable service. Save Club, on the other hand, doesn't change anything you're already doing except using their platform to get a discount for the same things you're already going to buy. That's a win-win-win for everyone because you save more than the cost of the membership.
Mm-hmm.
But Gary's right. And the average person doesn't understand, and we don't have the time to go into the functionality of what this is, but I can assure you that this is no small thing. And the fact is that based on how we build,
Mm-hmm.
this was the second project that we took our design.
Yep.
What is our design? We build from the top down.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is different. This is 180 degrees different from the industry. Now, what does that mean? That means in the industry, a person will sponsor as many people as they can, regardless of what the compensation plan looks like.
Okay.
Then what happens is all the people that are under them will typically end up having to fend for themselves
Mm-hmm.
instead of getting any real help. Okay, that is not the fault of a person per se. It's just what's been taught in the industry for 50 years. Okay, before we got the Safe Club, we had to test because it was a theory, and we tested our theory with dissolves. And what did that mean? That meant that if our theory was going to work, and we had no idea, did we, Gary?
No, we didn't.
Because Gary's right. And not only did we build this team to 130,000 without a website,
Mm-hmm.
because then we don't have a link. We couldn't even use the name of the company for 2 months.
Yeah.
We also did it with zero paid advertising. Right, Gary?
That's 100% true.
Zero paid advertising. And so in that particular instance, you had to have 2 direct.
Okay.
Now, here was the clue. If you decided to sponsor the world, that was fine by them. But just know that you will catch up to them at some point, and we were only going to pay you on your first 2. This is critical that you understand what I just said. We were only going to pay you up front on your first 2, and then eventually you will catch up to them. Okay? So we've got to thinking about that. We go, what the heck does this mean?
Yeah.
Remember, Gary?
Yes.
Yeah.
We
had to
put some thought into it.
we had to put a lot of thought into it because we'd never seen this. And so then we thought, wait a minute. What if on our spreadsheets, we start building this 2 by 2 by 2 by 2? What could possibly happen? And we had no idea if it would even work based on how the compensation plan was sitting, because nobody's ever tried to do this, right, Gary?
Yeah.
Not that we're aware of.
This was something you guys have done, which has not done in the past, right? It
So,
was just-
right.
Wow.
And so then what happened in the first week, Gary?
We grew to 101 people in our first week.
Wow.
And how many directs did you have?
2.
How many did I have?
2.
How many did our leaders have?
2.
Only 2. Only 2. What happened by the first month, Gary?
First month, we broke 500. After the first month is my recollection.
Now, wait a minute. Well, slow down a second. How many of those were free members?
0.
Oh, so wait a minute. So without any advertising, without a website,
Yeah.
without the use of the name, we generated 500 paid members in the first month.
Wow. I appreciate it.
What happened in month 2?
Month 2, we more than doubled.
Wow.
And then we hit this corner.
Oh,
It was when we broke 2,300 paid members under our team.
2,300 was a big magic number for us.
Lo and behold, we end up with now 130,000, of which, yes, 20,000 are paid, and about 90, 100,000, 110,000 are free, waiting to pay as we get these problems within our programming straightened out. But the most important part is that 70% of our entire organization is outside of the United States.
Wow.
But 90%, now listen very carefully,
Yes.
90% of our entire organization in that business are already fully qualified for the entire compensation plan and are already in profit
Wow.
on day one. Is that right, Gary?
100%.
Now let's take that to the Save Club. Again, a bit of a different breed of cat, and it wasn't two. How many directs do we have to have in Save Club?
Now, Save Club, you only have to have 2 at first, but you need 4 for the entire compensation plan.
Correct. So we
That's
weren't
one
going to
of
start with 2.
That's one of
were
them.
we? So we decided we weren't going to start with 2. Now, why? Now, knowing the statistics, right? 2.8, 2.3, whatever number you want to use, is all anybody would ever bring to the table. And then within 30, 60, 90 days, they're gone, right? Is that right, Gary?
That's a fact. That's
Right. Okay, that is the industry norm. But now we decided, okay, if it worked there, maybe it's going to work with Save Club. Now, in the first week, Gary, remember, Gerard, in the first week of Des Alps, we had 100 members.
Yeah.
What did we do in the first week? Requiring 4 to start. What did we do in the first week with Save Club, Gary?
we broke a little over 300 in under 5 days because the true first week was 4.5 days, and they cut it off. And
4.5 days.
we were at over 300.
300 paid members with 4 directs, not 2 directs. And here is the key again.
Yes. Please.
The $80 that it took to invest into your business with Save Club were returned immediately.
Wow.
Nobody in the history of the world of this industry has ever seen that happen. And it's happened twice now. The second part, now we teach you how to take money and reinvest it back into your business and save it in your wallet. And you take that money and you pay your membership out of profits and never again out of your pocket. Is that correct, Gary?
Well, that's what we teach and show you how to do that, because nobody wants to have their credit card hitting every single month.
Not yet.
That business.
Yes.
And now, wait a minute. We're actually launching to the world tonight. Is our launch to the world tonight, correct, Gary?
Yes, June 1st.
Okay. And we are launching in 150 countries, of which we represent about 62 of them again by default.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of our leaders are here, the ones that are not sleeping right now, from around the world. But again, we showed the CEO, Charles M.I. Mew, and Pete, who is the master distributor. And you got to remember, Gary and I are actually the number 1 team of all of Des Alps. Des Alps has 140,000 members. Gary and I have 130,000 of that number.
Okay, so
Yep.
tell me about that free training which you was telling me before. So our viewers would like to know about the training you give to
Free
the
training. That's a great question. Okay. So here's the truth. We started out on Thursday nights about 8 months ago, and we have a complete communications and training platform that sits on Go High Level.
Mhm.
Okay. And the reason we're using Go High Level, number 1, is Gary is one of the master distributors for Go High Level. So number 2, that means that we get the use of it. And the fact is we can bring 1 million people to that communications and training platform. We also have access to Zoom that we stream on, YouTube that we stream on. And then we also have access to a new product called R-Link, which is our Meetup Live Now room. And that'll hold 3,000 people. But the whole point of free training, the free training is for anybody and everybody. We don't care who you are, where you are in the world. We don't care if you want to learn how to brand yourself or you want to learn how to share the benefits of a product or service instead of trying to sell the features. Right, Gary?
Yes.
And what we do is we teach you a very simple belly-to-belly method that you can use to reach out to people in the industry that has a problem, because what we do is we teach you to become a problem solver. You're going to learn to stop chasing people. You're going to learn to stop trying to convince anybody of anything. And you darn sure are going to learn how to quit selling, because selling doesn't sell. Okay. Nobody buys your stuff. Nobody cares about who you are until they know, like, and trust you. And then they might just entertain you, giving them the opportunity to listen to you share the benefits of a product or service. Right, Gary? What can you add to that?
Well, here's the thing, guys. Nobody, features does not mean anything to anybody. Benefits is what's important to each of us individually. So if it's something that's beneficial to me, you'll have my attention. If it's about you, I'm not interested in what's beneficial for you. I'm interested in what's beneficial for me. In review of that, think of it from this: take your hat and turn it around backwards. What do I mean by that? When you talk to anybody, you need to view through their eyes and not your own. When you start to see the way a potential client, customer, associate would see things, your closing ratio will go sky high up. Some of my closing ratios are in the 90s, and Bob can say the same thing. Back in the early days, when it was just sheer belly to belly before the internet, people with a 15% closing rate were treated like gods. Because what did most people's closing rates in the 3%, 4%, 5%?
Right.
Think of it, every time you talk to somebody, take your hat, spin it around backwards, and view it from the eyes of the potential person you're talking to.
Very good.
You take that mindset, your business will skyrocket. As long as that hat's pointed forward and you're seeing it through your eyes instead of theirs, you'll continue the struggle.
Great advice now.
I think that makes sense.
Yes.
So I know you got some more questions, and go ahead.
Yeah, you guys are very successful. You have built a very large teams in last two businesses. So what are your financial goals of 2025?
Gary, I'll let you answer that one first.
Well, I want to share with you the goal setting technique that we failed at the first time 9-10 months ago.
Yes.
Bob and I, you heard it as our story. The day one, the very first day, Bob and I talked about doing this. We set a personal goal, and both of us will remember to this very day what that goal was. We set a goal of $10,000 a month.
Okay.
When we hit 2,300 and we started to explode, we realized we had set our goal way too low.
Extremely low.
Okay.
Yeah.
Our minimal pay, once they ask to go live again, will exceed $25,000 a month.
Okay.
But hold that thought a second, Gary, because see, one of the things I want everybody here to understand is when we tell you that this is not about us, that also means it's not about the money.
That's
Now,
true.
I will tell you something that you need to understand from me personally. Yes, my family and I do need our money. And yes, we will use those funds as a tool. Okay. But the fact of the matter is we have 8 months of success building that project. Right, Gary?
100%.
We've only been in Save Club for 4 weeks. Okay. I have people in Save Club that are already making more money than me, more money than Gary, and more money than the guy above Gary. And that is by design. Now we take this back to Desalps, and yes, I am going to be able to have a very good income that's already in place. Gary is, my wife, my daughter, my son, yes. But I also have 20,000 other people below my family and I that are either already in profit or they are already making anywhere from 500 a month all the way up to 10,000 a month. Correct me if I'm wrong, Gary.
Not only is it, but it brings up a good point you guys need to hear.
Mm-hmm.
When we set a goal, and you heard Bob's goal of 10,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you've never made 10,000, it's hard to envision it, right?
Correct.
You have to have done something to understand how to achieve it.
That's
Very few people can grasp it, but once you reach a level of say $10,000 in any company, you need something bigger than yourself to motivate you to continue to build. If not, you'll stop right there because you have no reason to do it. Once you have enough to cover all your bills and you're no longer in any financial stress of any kind, what's going to continue to make you continue working and building? So you need something bigger than yourself that's important, whether it's your grandchildren, it's animal care, it's whatever that is that's important to you in life. You have to have that to continue to motivate yourself.
Yeah, and for me, my family and I look. Let me real quick story. I retired from corporate America on my terms. My wife retired 5 years before I did. I retired in 2020 because I was ready to and I wanted to because I was done with corporate America and ready to move back on with what I was going to do next. And what my wife and I did was we retired in 2021 completely debt free. And we teach these things. So a lot of things that Gary and I teach, you're never going to do anything.
that is
You're never gonna get that.
So tell me one thing. So everyone face a lot of challenges while building a team. So what was the biggest challenge you guys faced? Because it's that journey is not always smooth. So what was
Well,
the biggest challenge?
I'll tell you the biggest challenge that I have, and this still is even 10 months later, is getting people to understand that we're not using a theory,
Mhm.
that this is not a concept, that
Mhm.
this is an actual reality of how we need to treat people and how we need to build around the world,
Mhm.
and getting leaders to understand and buy into it. What about you, Gary?
Well, I'm agree with that to a point as well. I'm going to say the biggest challenge that we face is teaching people to quit chasing people,
Mhm.
to get about what you've been taught. You know, the old rule was make a list of 100 of friends and family, and somebody got within 30 inches of you, you need to pitch them. And how'd that work out for you?
There are many people who wants to, to start in network marketing or MLM industry. So what is the number one advice would you like to give them so they can build some confidence in them so that they can join any MLM opportunity? Because people think that MLM is scam and something like that. So people are really want to know that MLM is legit. They want to join, but something is stopping them to join any opportunity. So tell me the one advice would you like to give them so that they can become confident enough to join any MLM or network marketing opportunity?
Go ahead, Gary.
I was wondering if you want me to take that one. This one is, while it sounds tough, it's really not. New people need to, number one,
Mm-hmm.
find an experienced mentor or experienced training.
Absolutely. Number one thing. Go ahead.
Number one thing right there is to have great training
Mm-hmm.
or a solid mentor that will spend time with you, showing you what not to do as well as what to do.
Okay.
Because here's the mindset. All of us come in with a mindset, call it ego, call it whatever you want. And when somebody shows you something that works,
Mm.
our mind goes, I can do it better than that. I could redo this
Mhm.
and make it
Yeah.
work the way I want it to work, because
Mhm.
I know I'm better than that guy. And he's the, see, you can't reinvent the wheel. You
I
have
wasted 7 years of my life doing what Gary is just now talking about. Go ahead, Gary.
you have to stay within what actually works for average people. We're not talking about a so-called guru that can swipe 100 people in some deal.
Mhm.
We're talking about average people because we all started with a dream. We wanted to get to 500. Look, $500 a month will make a house payment
Okay.
or close.
It'll make a car payment for sure now.
It would save 60% of the mortgage defaults. An extra $500 would have saved somebody's house from foreclosure.
Mhm.
Okay. We all had that dream when we started to make that extra income.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have to plug in to make it work for average people, not for the gurus, so-called gurus. Hey guys, if you want to be a guru, guess what you don't do? Follow a guru.
Well, I'm not gonna actually chew on all of that 100%, Gary, but I will chew on about 95% of it. And
Okay.
the 5% I don't is because guru, big boys and girls, blah 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 blah. Those are labels that are given to people that supposedly are leaders. Okay, so I'm going to use I'm going to say that what is Gary and I? Gary and I are just two average guys
Mhm.
that have learned the hard way and spent most of our life trying to figure out what can work for the average person. And we finally have come to that not conclusion, not theory, not concept, but reality, because now we've done it twice. So this literally means that no matter what project that we get involved in, including our own company that is coming, I will tell you that we can just take all of our people,
Yeah.
and I'm going to tell you what kind of people we have. I have people on this call right now, and Gary has people on this call right now that will walk through a brick wall to stay next to us. That is the respect that you earn, and that is the loyalty that you get when you take care of the people first and not your ego and not your pockets. Gary, you got anything to add to that one?
Well, that's tough to add to that. I think we better move on so we get all the questions answered.
Yeah.
I
So
agree.
that what I got it that it's not the opportunity which you guys join. It's the leader which you join.
It's
Is that correct?
but you got to remember something, Char. The biggest rule in life in business, regardless of whether it's a brick and mortar business or it's network marketing MLM, is nobody joins a business. No, they do not.
Yeah.
They join people in the business, and they hope and they pray that they meet the right person or persons that will help them solve their problems. And 99% of the time for the last 50 years, that has not been the case, right, Gary?
Well, that's a fact because of
And it's a sad fact, but it's still true. But we are changing all of that
Yeah,
now.
I totally agree with you. So I think the people who are watching this podcast, if they are willing to join Save Club, I recommend them they should join under Bob and Gary. So there are no better leader for them. So you guys give free training, you provide so much things to them. So I think you guys are the rock stars. They should.
So we appreciate the accolades, but here's what Gary and I will always tell you, and we'll tell everybody that's already on here, and most of the people that's already on here right now with us already know this about us. Yes, you will have the opportunity to join with us, but no, you will not ever get our links. Now, there's a reason why, because we have built this a specific way because we build it level by level. And as each level continues to build, we look down on the bottom of our levels as leaders of leaders, and we help our leaders make sure that they keep filling each level by level. So even here, we have a situation here where people are going to be able to click on a link and get more information about working with Bob and Gary. And yes, if you stay to the end, and when you fill up that form and you give us a good phone number, because we do this belly to belly. Yeah. If you think that you can't give your phone number out, I respect that, and that's great. But I'm going to suggest to you, if you're very serious about wanting to learn how to build a business and run a legitimate business from your home and either make an extra $500 or $1,000 a month and have the opportunity to then learn over a period of time, maybe 10, 12 months from now, to be able to replace your job and come in with us as a leader now, and then learn how to create generational wealth over the next 2 to 3 years so that you can retire your spouse, you can retire yourself, and become debt-free, then yes, you're in the right place. So did we answer all your questions?
Yes, you answered all our questions. So
Okay.
Frank, I would cut and paste the link. If you can't get it to work right now, cut and paste it.
Right.
If you save it, maybe you can use it in a different browser that way.
yeah,
And also, you also have the opportunity to take that and share with other people, okay? Because remember what I said, we have people who we are going to get this information to, and they will get their links, because this is how we build it. We build it so that 90% of our people are either already at break even or already starting to be in profit. And then from the profits, they get to now invest into their business. And so they never come out of pocket again. That is our priority. Is that not right, Gary?
100%.
And then in the case of Save Club, we teach you the next, because the first major rank is called 2-star after 1-star.
okay.
And then 2-star, it's very simple. You have to have only 20 in your entire team, but over 4 legs. That's why 4 directs. But the most important part is now, not only do you qualify for all the entire compensation plan, part of that compensation plan allows you to enjoy the revenue stream of the entire company.
Okay.
So the CEO that Gary and I, and so Gary, understand this, Gary and I are number 5 and number 6 in the company of Save Club. We are in the 6th level of the master distributor of the Alps, but yet we maintain the largest single amount of people in that company as well. And by ranking, matter of fact, the CEO created a ranking board part of the menu because of us. So we have got all kinds of people. We've got 100 and something people that are ranked at 1-star already out of 700 so far in the first 4 weeks. Not pre-enrollees, not
Paid members. Yeah.
paid members. Okay. And then 80% of those people are either at break even or at least able to use their profits that they now have in their wallet to pay for their membership until we get them to 2-star. And then they are going to upgrade to yearly. And now they're captured and they don't have to worry about that for another year. Gary, you got anything to close with?
Well, yeah. How do you beat what's offered? It's a path to victory to qualify your dream. Okay.
And here it only starts by you taking action.
Yes.
You can listen to Gary, you can listen to our guest host, you can listen to me, but that's not what matters. The only thing that matters is, are you serious enough at this point in your reality that you've decided it's time for you to do something different? And what does that look like? Well, for some of you, it may just be simply that you want to use the savings side of the business. For others of you, it could be that you need to learn how to be able to make enough extra income to make your mortgage payment or to make that car payment that you really want.
Yeah.
You understand, ladies and gentlemen, do you understand that you have opportunity to change your life today if you make a serious decision to partner with people that know what they're doing, possibly tomorrow? And on that note, I'll give it to you, Gary, and back to our host.
All right, guys. I'm going to throw in an extra special bonus, like I said, for those that fill out the form. And I'm going to tell you, when you find a taste of success, you get to drive what you want. Okay?
Absolutely. You get to live where you want.
And you get to live. I live on a golf course with a swimming pool. Bob, what kind of cars are in my driveway?
Well, you got a Mercedes, and then you've got several classic cars. That's correct.
Okay. My toy is a convertible '57 Chevy. That's my toy.
Wow.
That's my real baddie.
And you just got to remember the most important part. Where you sit today is a moment of time that you have to make a very concerted, logical business decision for yourselves. Are you where you want to be today? First of all, then look at yourself 6 months to a year from now. Where do you see yourself 6 months to a year from now? Where you are today? Or possibly, can you give Gary and I, because one of the things we teach too is time management. Every single person on this call that's going to listen or watch to this has 2 hours a day. If you give Gary and I 2 hours a day, 5 days a week, you pick the days. We do this in our free consultation. We teach you whether you do business with us or not, you're going to get a 30-minute free consultation if you give us an appropriate phone number so that we can contact you, and we will contact you. Okay? But listen, you give Gary and I, or any of our leaders that we have taught and have graduated from our leadership school, and that's only when they're ready that they do, okay? You give us 2 hours, 5 days a week. That's it. But you plug in to our communication platform and our live training platform, and you are serious about what we're doing, and you take what we teach and you apply it, and you will, with baby steps, see some levels of success step by step by step, no matter what you're doing. And then, yes, you will come back to one of our free trainings, and you will be with somebody. You will have a guest with you, and that guest will go, Jan, Amy, David, Jimmy, my goodness, I cannot believe the kind of training that you guys are giving for free. And yes, I went and tried a little bit of it, and it works. So now here I am, guys, Jan, I want the whole tamale. Now what happens? What happens, Gary, when somebody comes back after they go through our training a couple of weeks and wants the whole tamale? What happens to the person that brought them?
They mature. They change. They
They join their business.
Yes.
They join their business.
Yes.
That's a fact. And we do this week after week after week after week, week in, week out. I don't care if there's 10 people there or there's 1,000 people there. It's just like our specific training on Tuesday nights, our specific training on Wednesday mornings. And then I open our live meeting room during the week throughout the day that you can just drop in and say, hey, Bob, I need you to pray for me. Or, hey, Gary, I need to understand how this works in my business. Or, hey, man, I can't even balance my checkbook. Can you help me? This is the things of life and business that you don't know, that until you do know, you have to be with the right people that are not just knowledgeable, not just understanding of your current situation, but compassion right here. It comes from right here, and it comes from God, and God compels Gary and I to do what we do, and that's why we do it, and that's what we're continuing to do around the world today. all I can do is say thank you guys. Thank everybody for your time. You know how to reach us now. I'm on Facebook. Gary's on Facebook. You have a form to fill out. You take a minute and fill that form out and give us, and you also have a chance to write a comment in there. If you didn't like what you saw, if you didn't get any value, tell us. Tell us what you need. What do you need to help yourself see some level of success that you never have? Thank you, Gary. Thank you, Chard. Thank you, the world.
Great podcast, guys. This is a great learning day for me. And I'm sure for most of the people who is on the podcast learned a lot from you. One
Thank
of the
you.
best podcasts of my life. You guys are great.